Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Legacy Speaks. My name is Sierra Hillsman, licensed professional counselor and wellness strategist. I just wanted to take the time to have a brief conversation about the holidays. For a number of individuals, the holidays can be a bit difficult, and I have already done an episode previously before about how to cope during the holidays. So check out episode 56 on the Legacy Speaks podcast. You can also check the YouTube channel as well. And that way you can learn a little bit more on how to cope during the holidays. But this particular episode is all about how to thoroughly enjoy the holidays. We work all year long, whether you're an entrepreneur, employee, manager, director, VP, whatever. We worked all year long to get to this point, to be able to spend the holidays with our families. And so let's leave the stress behind and find ways to be intentional with enjoying our holidays. But before we dive right in, I need you to hit that subscription button below. That way you can stay up to date on newly released content on a regular basis. So let's dive right in. All right, really quickly, before we take out any dish to cook or hop in any car or any plane to get to our next destination, let's take a deep breath and think about the fact that we are still here, that you and I are still here being able to celebrate another holiday season. Over these last couple of years, we've experienced losses and have been dealing with periods of grieving. And yet in the midst of that, you've probably gained a number of things as well. And for those of you who are saying, I did not gain anything, what have you been able to maintain? Was it peace of mind? Was it your sanity? Was it your job in the midst of a number of layoffs? Was it you being able to stay with your family? Was it your ability to have reliable transportation? What were some things that you gained or maintained during this time? And it's important for us to honor the fact that we are still here because we have breath in our bodies and we have hands to be able to be of service to other people. We have a beating heart that allows us to feel our feelings, and we have a mind that allows us to be able to strategize next steps in our life. And so please take a moment to honor your humanity and also take a moment to honor your human experience and the place that you are in your life, regardless of whether or not it's good, bad, or indifferent or in between. Take a moment to honor the fact that you are still here for another holiday season. Now, once you're able to do that, let's take a moment to enjoy the beauty of the holiday season, okay? Obviously, the leaves are changing, the weather has changed, the fashion has changed. We got our dark colors, our jackets and our boots and things of that nature. You have the presents under the tree, you have your Christmas tree up, you have your holiday decorations, you have all of these different sights and sounds that are taking place. And that's why it's so important for us to dive completely into that experience. What does the holiday season mean to you? What are some markers? What are the things that you can see, taste, touch, smell, or even hear? Tap into those five senses so that you can build a healthy relationship with those experiences. The reason why you're able to remember those beautiful moments as a child or adolescence or maybe even young adulthood is because you've been able to create a toolkit or maybe even like a box of all these beautiful memories that we can tap into during those low moments. So take a moment to honor those things by enjoying the beauty of this holiday season. This Christmas season is going to be completely different than the one from 2 years ago, right? This Thanksgiving season is going to be completely different from the one that you had 10 years ago. So recognize your growth, recognize how your family has grown thus far, recognize the fact that your relationships and your bonds, your geographical areas, your homes, recognize the change and the growth that takes place each and every holiday season. And let's utilize a particular skill, right? So Marsha Linehan has a skill called the what skills, and she uses this through DBT, which is dialectical behavior therapy. And these are your what skills. So first, you need to observe, right? Observe what's going on both inside and outside of yourself. Utilize your attention by directing your focus on what's happening in the here and now, okay? Take a moment to gather that data, that information, by utilizing your 5 senses. Then describe, put a word on that thing, label your experiences utilizing your word bank, to utilize your vocabulary, right? So what are you feeling? Put a feeling word on that. What are you seeing? Describe it in great detail. So utilize your words to be able to label your particular experience. And then lastly is participate. Go with the flow, fully immerse yourself in that particular activity. Enjoy every single moment. Let your inner child do its thing, okay? Let your inner teen have its way. Allow the adult version of you, if you are at this age point, to be able to fully engage in what you're doing. Are you feeling a sense of fulfillment? Are you allowing yourself to feel joy in other areas of your mind, body, soul, and spirit? So allow every integrated part of yourself to be fully present and learn to not only observe it and describe it, but participate it fully without limitations or restrictions. Another way to enjoy the holidays is to create space for reconciliation, right? So obviously we have some family members or maybe even friends that we haven't spoken to in quite some time, or maybe there's some lingering grudge or lingering conversation that needs to be had or addressed. And so here's an opportunity for us to have those conversations. But before you have that conversation with the other person, take some time to have a healthy conversation with yourself. You could do this with a therapist, you could do this with a trusted friend or family member, or you can also do this with somebody that you would consider to be a mediator between the two. You know, find somebody who is non-biased and non-judgmental and has some great level of wisdom, who can see things from a different perspective and not co-sign any of you guys' foolish behavior or maladaptive behavior. So that's something to consider. Even when we're thinking about the concept of reconciling, figure out when would be the most appropriate time for you guys to have this conversation. So ideally, it would be best to have it prior to the gathering. That way, you won't bring that tension to the dinner or whatever event that you would happen to have. Or something to consider, it probably might be best to have it after the gathering. People tend to open up after a couple plates of food and a couple of rounds of family games. So figure out what would work best for both parties or multiple parties. That way you can have this conversation and be solution focused. Figure out how you can move forward from this, okay? All right, y'all, last one, and this for me is probably my favorite one. And I think it's the most important, especially as you are engaging in the holiday season. Don't forget to take time out specifically for yourself. Carve out me time. What that can look like is stealing away to go read a book, or scheduling your nap time, or going to bed early if you need to, or maybe hopping in the car and taking a drive, or stepping outside to get fresh air. Whatever you need to recharge and revitalize yourself, go ahead and do that. You've been riffing and running all day, running to and from the store to get some last minute errands done, standing in line at the grocery store with your loved one as they get the rest of the groceries for the holiday season, or maybe even stuck in traffic as you're driving or traveling, standing in those TSA lines that are super busy. You're sitting on the couch speaking to a number of people that you thoroughly love, but it's very high energy. So protect your space, enjoy yourself by taking time out specifically for yourself. Don't forget to take care of the eye. I say this all the time. If you don't take care of the eye, it can truly, truly, truly impact the we. And so make sure that you're breaking away so that you can recharge and so that you can be able to enjoy the space with the people that you love the most. All right, y'all, that's all I have for us today. But before we leave, let's jump into a quick recap, okay? Here are 4 things to do in order to honor or enjoy your holiday season. 1, honor the fact that we are still here. 2, learn to be fully present in all of your experiences. 3, take advantage of those opportunities to reconcile before you go home or before you leave that gathering. And then 4, make sure that you're carving out space specifically for yourself to regroup, recharge, and revitalize yourself. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Legacy Speaks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and definitely stay connected via Legacy SBKS on everything. Until next time.